So I'm going to be just doing a demonstration of how to jack up a sidecar motorcycle using tools that I carry on the sidecar anyway. I'm specifically using those so I can prove to myself that it's possible should occasion arise, and because I'm also going to be looking at the front wheel bearings and seals, it would just make sense for me to loosen that up before I jack it up, wouldn't it? Okay, let's see how she goes. So there's the axle bolt there, and there's a little pinch stroke cotter pin there. Just going to loosen them up before we lift her up. Got myself a little pot there, put bits and bobs in. Seems reluctant to come out, I'm not sure why. And then we have the axle. Now again, contrary to what you might think, this is left-hand thread, i.e. it tightens leftwise, if you know what I mean. And the reason for that is in case the bearings ever pinch up or get tight, if they were to transmit torque to the axle, then it would tighten as it goes round in the forward motion rather than loosening off and leave you with a dangerous situation. So I must remember to loosen it in the contrary direction, like thus. Right, that's sufficiently loose. We'll jack it up now. As per usual, it's a very dull and overcast January day. It's sort of about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Very dull. I've brought a portable lamp. Good job I remembered to bring that. So under here is where I'm going to be jacking it up. I know you can't see that very well at the moment. I'll show you in a second. I've made myself a little jacking saddle. It's just made out of wood. As you can see, come out of a light. And this is just to enable me to straddle the profile of the engine sump which sits in there, but also get up to the frame rails without upsetting the exhaust pipes as well, which hang below the frame rails, if you know what I mean. You'll see that detail in a second. So I'm using tools that I carry in the sidecar trunk anyway, in case of emergency repairs. And in the sidecar I also carry this, which is a scissor jack, which is what I'll be using. Like I say, it's gear I carry with me on the road anyway, in case I need to do this sort of thing, you know, on an emergency basis. In the jack pack I carry scissor jack, as mentioned, a couple of offcuts of timber in case I need to jack off soft ground or squidgy hot summer tarmac or anything like that. A bit of climbing rope as a spare towing rope, and a bit of lead. Now I can't remember what that's for at the moment, but maybe it'll come to me. I obviously put it in there for a reason. Just can't remember. And I'll try and show you now what the profile of the engine sump and frame rail relationship looks like under there. So we've got the sump projecting down, exhaust, frame rail and sump, and that's what that wooden jacking saddle is for, to sort of bridge all those obstacles and get it back up into solid framework for the lifting forces. So here's the saddle going in. Get that fairly far forward. Position the scissor jack. Don't pinch your fingers at this stage between the jack and the saddle. And there we have it. It's beginning to take the load, obviously. The machine is in gear, so that acts like a handbrake. check everything's okay. Yep. Taking the thrust into the frame rails rather than affecting the sump or even the exhaust pipes. And whilst I think you possibly could jack off the sump, because it's only thin sheet metal, it would to some extent distort it, which might then give you sump sealing issues with the gasket, you know. So that's why I like to create a little jig, really, a little lifting jig to do the job just right. And the front wheel is now clear of the ground. And because I've already loosened the nuts, I can whip it off, which is what I'm going to do now. Of course, I want to remove the front brake cable first. I just love these old mechanisms. There's no bleeding or anything like that to do, or, you know, it's just so simple. Is there enough slack there? Yeah, maybe. There you go, you see. Job done. How does that come out? That bit there. Now there'll be a clever trick to this. So simple, I was just saying, wasn't I? There we go. Yeah, I'd forgotten the trick. There's a little forked, a little forked nipple housing there. How cool is that? Yeah, sorted. Keep that in a little pot. And back over to the port side of the rig to take. I was a bit curious about that cotter bolt. Does it come out or does it not? Oops. Does it come out, hey? Does it or doesn't it? I'm not sure. Is it just an awkward... Oh, no. Blocking everybody's view, aren't I? Not sure about that just yet. So, crank out the wheel, and yes, it looks like the wrong direction. Remember, we talked about that. It feels and looks odd to be cranking it this way to extract it. I agree, it feels right weird. But it's for a good reason. No. Hasn't the sheet come yet? No. She's fighting me. Putting up resistance. Phew. Just going to have a look and see why that might be. So yes, the cotter pin did come out in the end. It was just fighting, the threads were fighting against the washer that was on there, and that's why it was reluctant. And it's sort of got like a scalloped shape like that, which presumably sort of snugs around the axle bolt. And I've just put a little bit of wood under there to take the weight off the wheel as I manipulate the axle out. And I just want to hold the brake drum on the other side so it doesn't clatter to the ground as that comes out. There we go. And there it is, wheel away. Brake drum. And that's about it, I think. Still haven't remembered what that bit of lead was for. The jack pack. No idea at the moment. Yes, I do. I know what it's for. If I need to jack up the sidecar chassis to do the sidecar wheel, then I'll use that bit of lead between the top of the jack and the frame to give it a snug landing so it doesn't scratch and scrape the metal and score the paintwork. There we are. I knew it'd come to me the end. So there's the wheel out. The brake drum, I'm just going to inspect all that. That is the purpose of this sidecar jacking demonstration. I get that word obviously from the revered and respected Fred Dibner, who used to articulate it in that way. Okay, well, thanks for watching.